Hello.
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 Don't adjust your camera a little bit.
Yeah, I am adjusted. Can you see me?
Audio is clear now.
Yeah. Can you see me?
Audio is clear now.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you see me?
Audio is clear now.
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to all of you for yet another episode, or another episode, I must say, the last day of this webinar, National Academic Webinar Session. And today we have as the speakers, resource persons of today, Dr. Kishore Kumar CK, Director of Physical Education, Mango University. He'll be talking on the language of research. Then we'll have Dr. Mr. M. Prakash, who is Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science, Mango University. He'll be speaking on ICT in physical education. And as a last session of this academic series, we have Dr. Radhakrishna, who will be speaking on athletics, that is specifically on throws. And today we have as a moderator of today's sessions, Mr. Donnet D'Souza. Let me give a brief introduction of Mr. Donnet D'Souza. Mr. Donnet D'Souza is one of the senior most physical directors of Mangalore University. He's working in St. Aloysius College, Mangalore, and he himself is a very good hockey player and also a gold medalist in the South Zone Inter-University during his student days. He has specialized in hockey, football, and on behalf of all of us participants and on behalf of the Department of Physical Education, I welcome him. And today's session, I request Mr. Donnet D'Souza to please take over. Over to you, sir.
Good morning to one and all. Am I audible?
Good morning. Yeah.
Welcome to the 8th day webinar series organized by Department of Postgraduate Studies and Research in Physical Education, Mangalore University. I'm Mr. Donnet D'Souza, Physical Director of St. Aloysius College, Mangalore. Welcome you all to this day's deliberations. As the moderator for this day, I would like to introduce our first speaker, that is Dr. Kishore Kumar CK, Director, Department of Physical Education, Mangalore University. His qualifications are Masters in Physical Education and PhD in Physical Education. His teaching and research experience are in PG and UG, a teaching experience of 28 years and 25 years in research. He has a specialization in research methods in physical education, sports psychology, sports sponsorship, methods in physical education, and computer application. His practical experience is in tennis, cricket, football, badminton, and weightlifting. In research field, he is well versed in sports psychology, sports sponsorship, and marketing, physiology of exercises. He was the chairman, Department of PG Studies and Research in Physical Education and Sports. He is the director of Physical Education, Department of Physical Education, Mangalore University from 2013 onwards. He was also the in-charge Vice Chancellor of Mangalore University. On behalf of all of us, I welcome you, Dr. C.K. Kishore Kumar, to the topic Language of Research. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Donnet D'Souza. Very good morning to all. Can you hear me? Mr. Donnet, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Okay, thank you. So very good morning to all. Dear friends, today I will be speaking on language of research. My target group today are BPEd and MPEd students and research scholars. You probably think of research as something abstract and complicated. It can be, but you'll see, I hope, that if you understand the different terms or the phrases or terminologies of a research project and how these fit together, it's not nearly as complicated as it may seem at the first glance. You see some complications. The reason is when the person who are from arts or commerce background, who don't have the in-depth knowledge in science, they guide the subjects which is mainly involved in the scientific principles or physiology, vice versa. That is why I always urge for the entry of more and more doctors and engineers into our field to conduct research, so that we can explore many more scientific areas for the further development of the profession. Learning about research is not like learning about anything else. The big controversies they fight over is the different factions that define the major players. Let me start by considering some terminologies, really big multi-syllable words that researchers sometimes use and describe what they do. And I'll only explain these terms now, and to give you an idea of just how complicated the discussion can get. But not enough to cause you to give up in a total despair. You can then take on some of the major issues in the research, like the types of study you can perform, the role of time in research, and the different types of relationships you can estimate. Then you have to consider some of the basic terms like we often use in research, that is variable, hypothesis, data, and some like unit of analysis. If you're like me, you hate learning vocabulary. So I'll quickly move along to consider two of the major fallacies. Fallacies means I say misbelief or misconception. That's just to give you an idea of how wrong researchers can be if they are not careful. Of course, there is always a certain probability that they will be wrong, even if they are extremely careful. So I'll take up such terms for my talk today. All of you know that research involves a broad-based blend of an enormous range of skills and activities. I hope you understood. I mean, every research involves a broad-based blend. When we say mixture of an enormous range of skills and activities. ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಂಶೋಧನೆಗಳು ಬಹಳ ಬ್ರಾಡ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಕೌಶಲ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಮತ್ತು ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಗಳ ಮಿಶ್ರಣವಾಗಿರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಿರುವಾಗ we have to be very careful while using some of the terms or terminologies in research. To be a good social researcher, you have to be able to work well with the variety of people, and you have to understand the specific methods used to conduct research. Why I'm telling this? Suppose you are a guide. Suppose I am a guide. So I have to allow my scholars to discuss with a variety of people. So when they go for discussing with variety of people, they will get vast knowledge, wide knowledge. They will get positive, negative reactions from the experts. And you have to understand the specific methods used to conduct research. That is also very important. And understand the subject that you are studying. That is the important quality required for any research. You have to understand the subject that you are studying, or which subject you are selecting, or the area of your study. And at the same time, you have to convince someone to give you the ideas to study. You have to convince them. So whenever you meet an expert or any person related to your study, you should be able to convince him to get the ideas from him, and you have to stay on track and on schedule. So we are seeing some of the scholars, they take more than 5 years, 6 years, they take 7 years, 8 years to complete their research work. The reason is many a time they miss their track. If 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 they have all the things in writings like their delimitations, limitations, all those things, still many a time some of the scholars they miss their track, and they don't keep schedules. That is also one of the reasons. They have to keep schedule. They have to make schedules for their research. So like there are some of the aspects, and you have to speak and write to do something. That is also important, and that is on and on. Here, I want to introduce to you some terms that I think helps you to describe some of the key aspects of contemporary social research. This list is not exhaustive. It's really just the 4 or 5 terms that came into my mind when I was thinking about this, and thinking about how I might be able to impress someone with the really big, complex words to describe fairly straightforward concepts. Dear listeners, and my friends, in between, I also pose a few questions instead of asking questions or receiving questions from your side. So I will pose a few questions for especially to the research scholars. They should answer immediately. Before I start my explanation. That's my condition. It's a condition to the research scholars. So my first question to the research scholars is, what type of study is yours? So you are already selected your study research for your study research project. So you can post the messages immediately. So before I start my explanation, so post the research title, so then I can decide which type of study is yours. Shall I start? Okay. So your time is over. So the first, the 2 terms I selected is, one is theoretical and empirical. So it's together because they are often contrasted. Contrasted means they differ with each other. So social research is theoretical. So Varun, you have given the title, and you said yours is analytical study or analysis study. So social research is theoretical, meaning that much of John Davy was a prominent theorist in the early 1900. According to him, play is a subconscious activity that helps an individual to develop both mentally and socially. So that is the theory of John Davy. So you can test it. You can test whether play is a subconscious activity or conscious activity. So that will be your theoretical study, or ideas that social researchers have about how sports world operates. So you can study like how sports world operates. It's interesting. This study also empirical. It's interesting. That is based on observations. This empirical study is based on observations and measurements of reality on what you perceive of the world around you. Please follow the terms. So empirical meaning that it is based on observations and measurements of reality on what you perceive of the world around you. I hope you understood. For example, I'll give an example. Are you aware of what is happening around you? Some people are, some people are too focused on themselves, on their thoughts and desires, and or do you constantly think about your plans and goals and about what you want to do or achievements in your profession? Or example like sometimes you become and what they feel and that job. So that is a people around you. Research as a blending of these two terms. The examples that I have given, that most of the research as a blending of these two terms, a comparison of theories about how the world operates with observations of its operation. So this is about empirical and about theoretical research. And my second question to the research scholars is, what do you mean by nomothetic and ideographic? Do you have any idea about this? Anybody? So I have not seen any postings. The two terms I said, nomothetic and ideographic. So research scholars, you must know these terms. So this term is it's a Greek terminology. Nomos meaning law. Most of the time, psychologists who adopt this approach are mainly concerned with studying what we share with others. So they use it. That is similarities between people, for example. Therefore, the nomothetic approach involves establishing laws or generalizations that apply to all people. We share with others from the writings of the psychologists, like Gordon Allport. You must have heard about him, a great psychologist. Nomothetic refers to laws, as I said, or rules that pertain to the general case. And as I said, it's a Greek word and is contrasted with the term ideographic. Contrasted means it differ with the term ideographic. Ideographic means generally, it means relating to the study or discovery of particular scientific facts and processes as distinct from general laws. So often differ with the nomothetic. This ideographic often differ with nomothetic, ideographic, which refers to laws or rules that relate to individuals. So this also a Greek term, idiot is a Greek term. In any event, the point here is that most social research is concerned with the normative, that is the general case, that rather than the individual. I got my point. I said many of the most of the social research is concerned with the normative. I mean, that is the general case rather than the individuals. Individuals are often studied. Sorry. There's an interest in generalizing more than just the individual. So now you can decide whether your study is normative or idiographic. I hope you can clarify with this. And another word I would like to describe is about in contemporary social research is about probabilistic or based on probabilities. The inferences and the inferences made in have probabilities associated with them. They are seldom meant to be considered as covering laws that pertain to all cases. Here, part of the reason statistics have become so dominant in social research that enables the estimation of the probabilities in the situations being studied, isn't it? So in the social studies, the statistics always dominates. That enables the estimation of the probability. Estimation of probabilities can be done through the statistics. So it is possible through statistics to estimate the probabilities in the situation being studied. And another term I would like to introduce is term causal. You have to be careful with this term. Note that it is spelled causal, not casual. So you have to spell it CAUSAL, not casual, not CASUAL. It is causal. So you'll already be embarrassed if you write about casual hypothesis in your study. The term causal means that most social research is interested in looking at cause-effect relationships. Cause-effect relationships. So that is a causal study. That means in social research, many times we look for cause-effect relationship. This does not mean that most research actually studies cause-effect relationships. Some studies simply observe. For instance, a survey might seek to describe the present. The percent of people holding a particular opinion. Many studies explore relationships. For example, studies often attempted to determine whether there is a relationship between gender and track or field event. For example, in a hurdles event, 100-meter hurdles for women and 110-meter hurdles race for men. Here, you can explore the relationship between gender and hurdles event. Why 100-meter hurdles for women and why 110 hurdles event for 110 for men and 100-meter hurdles for women? So here, the relationship between gender and the event. So probably the vast majority of applied social research consists of this type of descriptive and correlational studies. So why I'm talking about causal studies, because for most social sciences, it is important to go beyond instead of simply looking at the world or looking at the relationship. So that is the reason. I hope so because of the time constraint, I have to go little fast. I hope you are very clear with the terms like theoretical study, empirical study, normative, idiographic, probabilities, and causal research. So I'll try my level best to convince you in short time. So my third question is to the research scholar. What are all the types of research studies? Very simple, very, very simple. So anybody can answer for this. What are all the types of research studies? So please post your answers immediately. I'm waiting for that. So just types of research studies. Anybody? So I'll continue. So research studies or projects take three basic forms. So Akshay is correct. One is descriptive studies. So descriptive studies are designed primarily to describe what is going on or what exists. Hope you are very clear. So descriptive studies are designed primarily to describe what is going on or what exists. For example, is a coronavirus crisis? Coronavirus crisis increasing Indians' drug overdoses? So that is the question. Or has the time come to abolish drug doping in sports? So here the public opinion polls that seek only to describe the proportion of people who hold various opinions are primarily descriptive in nature. Now, Kannadadalli descriptive vivaranatmakavada, vivaravada. That is descriptive, I say. So various opinions are primarily descriptive in nature. For example, if you want to know, I'll go out of sports. If you want to know what percent of population would vote for a BJP, Congress, JDS, Communist Party, or other parties in the next Karnataka Assembly election, you are simply interested in describe something, isn't it? So such type of studies are descriptive studies. Second one is relational studies. This relational studies look at the relationship between two or more variables. What is the variable that I will explain now in the later stage? So here I said these studies look at the relationship between two or more variables. Such studies are called relational studies. A public opinion poll that compares what proportion of males and females say they would vote for a BJP, Congress, JDS, Communist, or other parties candidates in the next Karnataka State Assembly elections, is essentially studying the relationship between the gender and voting preferences. So such studies are also called relational studies. So another study is causal studies. I said you should be very careful with the term causal and casual. It's not casual studies, it is causal studies. Causal studies are designed to determine whether one or more variables causes or affects one or more outcome variables. I repeat, causal studies are designed to determine whether one or more variables causes or affects one or more outcome variables. For example, teaching or training variables. Teaching or training variables is the best example for that. So if you perform a public opinion poll, I will give an example, to try to determine whether a recent Fit India program of our Prime Minister advertising campaign has a campaign changed youth's mindset. You would essentially be studying whether the campaign is cause change the promotion of youths. Promotion. It's changed the proportion of youths who would involve in regular physical activities. That is effect. I will repeat. So, for example, if you performed a public opinion poll to try to determine whether a recent Fit India advertising campaign changed youth's mindset, you would essentially be studying whether the campaign changed the proportion of youths who would involve in regular physical activities. So that is one of the example for causal studies. So these three study types can be viewed as cumulative. That is, a relational study assumes that you can first describe, by measuring or observing each of the variables you are trying to relate. A causal study assumes that describe both the cause and effect variables, and that you can show that they are related to each other. The causal studies are probably the most demanding of the three types of studies, as I said. So which are all the three types? One is descriptive type of studies, relational studies. Third one is causal studies. Among three, causal studies is the most demanding out of three. So next point I would like to take up time in research. So these are all the terms I'm using. That's what I said. My topic is about languages in research. Languages of research. So time in research is an important element of any research design. You know the design. What is design? So design is, for example, a stage we set to conduct a experiment or a study. For example, we set a stage for drama or some program. That is called stage. So design is also a stage for the research. And here I want to introduce one of the most fundamental distinctions in research design nomenclature. That is about cross-sectional versus longitudinal studies. What is this cross-sectional and longitudinal studies? A cross-sectional study is one that takes place at a single point in time. Single point in time. In effect, you are taking a slice or cross section of whatever it is you are observing or measuring. I repeat, so you are taking a slice. Slice ಮಾಡೋದು ಕೇಳಿದಿರಿ ಈರುಳ್ಳಿ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ slice ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. So slice or cross section of whatever it is you are observing or measuring. That is called cross-sectional studies. A longitudinal study is one that takes place over time. Here you have at least two and often more waves of measurement in a longitudinal decisions. So you're taking more waves of measurement in a longitudinal design. So I don't want to explain much about this. So as I said, the time, because of time constraints, I'll take some other aspects also. So my next question to the research scholars is, what do you mean by variable? It's very simple. So online, I have seen some of the people who already completed their PhD research work. So now my question is, what is variable? So any answer from anybody? So no. So we must know about this variables. If you do not know about variables, you can't do much in research unless you know how to talk about variables. A variable is any entity. Listen carefully. A variable is any entity that can take on different values. Okay. So what does that mean? Anything that can vary can be considered a variable. I repeat, anything that can vary can be considered a variable. For instance, fitness can be considered a variable. Fitness can be considered a variable because fitness can take different conditions for different people, isn't it? So fitness can take different conditions for different people or for some person at different times. So here, the variable entity that you can see the changes in the values. Changes in the values of the entities. I repeat. So you can consider fitness as one of the variable because fitness can take different conditions for different people or for some person at different times. I hope you understood. Similarly, a country can be considered a variable. Country can be considered a variable because a person's country can be assigned a value. I hope you got my point. So I'll continue with that. These variables, I said, are not always quantitative or numerical. The variable is not always a quantity one or a numerical one. The variable gender consists of, so for example, gender consists of two text values, which are all those male and female. If it is useful, the quantitative values can be assigned instead of the text values. But it is not necessary to assign the numbers for something to be variable. Hello? Hello, Gerald, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, it's all right. Hello. So it's audible.
Because I lost the connection.
It's audible.
I'm audible now.
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay, thank you. For instance, in much social research and in program evaluation, the treatment or the program is considered to consist of one or more variables. For example, the cause can be considered a variable. A cause can be considered a variable. And educational program can have varying amounts of time or task. The classroom settings, student teacher ratios, and so on, so forth. Therefore, even the program can be considered a variable which can be made up of a number of sub variables. So that is the meaning of that. In this, we also use one more term. It's called attribute. What is this attribute? An attribute is a specific value of a variable. A specific value of a variable. For example, the variable is sex or gender has two attributes. One is male and one is female. Or the variable agreement might be defined as having 5 attributes. Normally, we use in our research. What are all those 5 attributes? One is strongly disagree. Second one is disagree. Third one is neutral. Fourth one is agree. And fifth one is strongly agree. So these are all the attributes. So one is I said about the variable of sex or gender. I said there is two attributes, male and female. Or the other variable agreement, we can have 5 attributes. This usually we use in our research while preparing our questionnaires. My next question is for the scholars is what is independent and dependent variable? Anybody? So I thought that an independent variable was one that would be free to vary or respond to some program or treatment. Am I right? Independent variable one is one that would free to vary or respond to some program or the treatment. So usually in experimental studies, you go for control group, experimental group, like that. So where you are giving the treatment. And that dependent variable must be one that depends on efforts. For example, depends on my efforts. It's a treatment, I said. It's a treatment. However, this is entirely backwards. In fact, the independent variable is what you manipulate a treatment or a program or cause. Got my point? Independent variable is what you manipulate, a treatment or program or cause. Dependent variable is what you presume to be affected by the independent variable. Your effects or outcomes. What you presume to be affected. What you presume to be affected by the independent variable, your effects or outcomes. If you are studying the effects of training program on athletes' achievement, the program is the independent variable and your measures of achievement are the dependent ones. I hope you clear with this. So I will pass on to another aspect. So I have got only 7 minutes. So I have to complete some more aspects. So I'll take up the other common terminology we are using in research, that is hypothesis. So I selected these terms just to clear, and the scholars and others, they can refresh themselves. So that is the reason behind that. So an hypothesis is a specific statement of prediction. So usually we say it is an intelligent guess of a researcher. So in hypothesis, I would like to explain, instead of explaining about the meaning of hypothesis, I just explain what is null hypothesis, what is alternate hypothesis, or the terms used for that. So here, for example, whenever I talk about an hypothesis, I'm really thinking simultaneously about two hypotheses. Let me say that you predict that there will be a relationship between two variables in your study. Got my point? Between two variables in your study. The way to set up the hypothesis test is to formulate two hypothesis statements. One that describes your prediction and one that describes all the other possible outcomes with respect to the hypothesized relationship. Your prediction is that variable A and variable B will be treated. You don't care whether it is a positive or negative relationship. You don't bother about that. Then the only other possible outcome would be that variable A and variable B are not related. Clear? Usually, the hypothesis that you support, that is your prediction, is called the alternative hypothesis. And the hypothesis that describes the remaining possible outcomes is termed the null hypothesis. Very clear? The hypothesis that you support, that is, as I said, your prediction, is called the alternative hypothesis. And the hypothesis that describes the remaining possible outcomes is termed the null hypothesis. Sometimes a notion like HA or H1 is used to represent the alternative hypothesis or your prediction and HO to represent the null hypothesis case. You have to be very careful here, though in some studies your prediction might well be, your prediction might be that there will be no difference or change. In this case, you are essentially trying to find support for the null hypothesis and you are opposed to the alternative hypothesis. Clear? If your prediction specifies a direction, the null hypothesis is the non-difference prediction and the prediction of the opposite direction. I repeat, if your prediction specifies a direction, the null hypothesis is the no difference prediction and the prediction of the opposite direction. This is called a one-tailed hypothesis. It's called one-tailed hypothesis. For instance, let us imagine that you are investigating the effects of a new employee training program. Suppose you are the administrator, and that you believe one of the outcomes will be that there will be less employee absenteeism. That is called one-tailed hypothesis. So my next question for the scholars is about types of data. So I don't want to explain the meaning of data. Pardon? So data will be discussed in lots of occasions in research, but here I just want to make a fundamental distinction between two types of data. One is qualitative and one is quantitative data. So scholars and my students, you should be very clear with these two terms. One is qualitative, another one is quantitative. Typically, data is called quantitative if it is in numerical form and qualitative if it is not. That is the difference, qualitative and quantitative data. So notice that qualitative data could be much more than just words or text. For example, photographs, videos, sound, recordings, and so on can be considered qualitative data. In research, we have some misconceptions too. So my next question to the scholars is, what are the research fallacies? Fallacies means misconception or misbeliefs, I said. So here, there are so many such fallacies. Here I will explain two research fallacies. One is that is ecological fallacy. So this fallacies and error in reasoning, usually based on mistaken assumptions. And researchers should be familiar with these two terms. Here, I discuss, as I said, two important fallacies. One is ecological fallacy. It occurs when you make conclusions about individuals based on only on analysis of group data. For instance, assume that you measured the sprinting ability scores of a particular university athletes, and you found that they had the highest average score in the university. Later, you run into one of the athletes from that university and you think to yourself, he must be a top sprinter. It's not correct. It's a fallacy, I said. So just because he comes from the university with the highest average does not mean that he is automatically a high performer in the sprint. He could be the poor sprinter in the inter-university competitions that otherwise consists of top sprinters. So this happens in many a time in our research. So we should be very careful. So another one is exception fallacy. So exception fallacy is a sort of the reverse of the ecological fallacy. It occurs when you reach a group conclusions on the basis of exceptional cases. This kind of fallacious reasoning is at the core of a lot of sexism and racism. So that is exceptional fallacy, I said. So here my point is, we should be very careful while explaining the terms of research. Many a time, it is interpreted in a different way. So we must understand the terms first. We must understand the type of study. So all the things we have to think before starting our research. So there are like that. There are many other aspects about analysis, about different relationships. So because of time constraints, I will stop here. So I have touched only a few aspects of research languages. I will stop my talk. So I thank Dr. Gerald Santos D'Souza, Chairman of the Department of PG Studies and Research in Physical Education and Sports for the opportunity so that I could share my little knowledge with my students, friends, and research scholars and others through this webinar. So thank you, Gerald Santos D'Souza, and the moderator of this session, Mr. Donny D'Souza. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening patiently. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Hello?
Yes, sir. I think so. There are no questions on this issue since you have put questions to the listeners. But still, I would like to thank you because language in research is most important, and your points on theoretical, empirical, casual, then three basic forms of descriptive research studies, cross-section.
So it is causal, not casual.
Causes, variables, hypothesis. These are all the aspects which are most important in research. And if this language has not been understood, the whole research could go haywire. That is why I request all the persons who have listened to this information to go through the proper language and interpret the words in a proper manner when you are in your research field. So with this, I thank Dr. Kishore Kumar for your thought-provoking session on the topic of language in research. I hope our participants have gained a lot from you and would like to contact in the future regarding research. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your 1 hour session.
Thank you. Welcome.
Now I would request Mr. Prakash M. Dr. Prakash M. is one of the assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science, Mangalore University. He specialized in digital image processing and Internet of Things. His experience in this field for the last 6 years, and in a short term, he has won a lot of funding projects to the University of Mangalore, and he is very proficient in this subject of Internet Things, Python programming, advanced structures, and algorithms. On behalf of the Department of Research and Studies, Mangalore University, I wish you all the best and request you to take over the subject ICT and physical education. Over to Mr. Prakash M.
Thank you so much for the introduction, sir. Yes, very good morning to all the participants. So this is the second session. So in the first session, we discussed about ICT and applications of ICT in all the fields, and ICT applications of ICT in physical education. And also we discussed some of the concepts related to computer viruses and then networks, computer networks. So today we are going to discuss about so introduction to e-learning. So how the technologies are integrated into physical education, and followed by we are going to see the Microsoft Excel, particularly how to use the formulas and plotting the graphs. And lastly, we will discuss about Office 365 OneDrive file organization. So let's start with e-learning, introduction to e-learning. So there are the different words are being used for this e-learning, like online courses, online learning, and web-based learning. And we also have computer learning. So we have different words, but most of the time they are all same, but with a little differences. So in e-learning, it is completely based on, the interaction is between the teachers and the students only through internet or the internet. In the case of a blended learning or computer learning, the students can able to meet the teachers. But in this case, in the case of e-learning, the interaction is between only through the internet, though they are in the same premises or in the same building. So e-learning, sometimes called web-based training, is anywhere, anytime instruction delivered over the internet or the intranet. So all needed for viewers or the students is that a computer with a browser with high-speed internet. So let's see how this works actually. So how the things are provided, how facilities are provided in internet is that the instruction can be delivered by combination of static methods such as learning portals, which contains hyperlinked pages, and screen cam tutorials like videos, an online streaming audio or video or live web, and the interactive methods such as discussion forums, group chats, or video conferencing. So these are the content of this e-learning. So e-learning tools primarily enabled the delivery of learning material directly from teacher to the learner. So why e-learning is important? What are the merits? What are the advantages? What are the benefits we have uh, in education or physical education field? Is that so? One of the important advantages is that it has a greater access. For example, see, we providing the tutorials online. You can access at any time from anywhere with any device which has internet connection, like your mobile phone. You can access the content through your mobile phone or the laptop. Correct? No, all you need is an internet connection. Okay, and then the resources. So what are the resources here? As I told you in the previous slide, that is the resources are study materials like documents or audio tutorials or video tutorials. So these are all resources. So you can, you can increase or decrease the content of the online materials. That is called a scalability. Okay, so there is no limit for the size of the resources. Okay, that is one of the advantages. So lectures can be taken any number of times. So it is not restricted for you to just, you need to go only once. You can go and check out the materials or videos for any number of times. So there is no restrictions. And you can also increase your speed of learning. See, in our example, it might have experienced for you that sometimes you don't understand what's happened in the class. So what do? You just go to Google and you just go to YouTube, correct? No, for the online tutorials. Then you easily understand the concepts. So it improves the speed of learning, improved pace. And also another important thing is that it reduces the cost of the learning. Correct? No. So it reduces overall cost of the training for the students, and the content can be delivered in very less time. So it provides a quick delivery of the lessons, and also based on the student learning, it can be personalized or customized. So based on the student, because different student learns at different speed, right? Some are slow learners, some student grasp the things very fast. So that can be customized, that can be personalized. And another important thing is that it has a very less impact on environment. So according to the study, 75% of CO2 can be reduced by this e-learnings. And also this is a paperless works. So it also reduces this usage of papers. Okay. So we are moving towards the green environment. And the last thing, that is since we have the outcomes for each programs, we can also see the results of the students. We can see the outcomes of the course. So types of e-learning, we have two types of learnings. That is, one is synchronous, other one is asynchronous. So what we are conducting this webinar is kind of asynchronous e-learning, because we already provided you the time, right? Correct? No, you need to be virtually present for this program. So it's all planned and it will carry out according to the plans, right? So this is called synchronous. So it is instructor facilitated. So everything is organized. And then it requires all the participants to be virtually present at the same time. So both teachers or instructor and the participants or the students should be present virtually, not physically inside the building. Okay, and for example, we have online exams for bank jobs and other jobs, right? So they are all examples for synchronous e-learning and our virtual classrooms and any kind of video conferencing. These are all synchronous type. And on other hand, we have a self-directed and self-paced. That means we have so many courses available online. You can log into any time and you can start the course, right? You can do it as many times you want. So there is no restriction for the time. You can log into any time and you can continue with the learning. So that is asynchronous, and that doesn't require other participants to be present virtually. Examples we have group chats, group discussions. You can come and provide your feedback or whatever. You can give the replies to the online forums, right? So you can go to the, for example, Facebook or WhatsApp. You can, provide your feedback or your replies at any time. Okay, so it is not synchronous; it is asynchronous. And of course, we have a very few disadvantages of this e-learning. And some people think that this is very good for the students who have, who are self-motivated and who are very independent. But for the people, some students don't understand online classes because they need their teachers to be physically present. Okay? So that is, then they want the contact with the teachers. Okay, so most of the students get benefited by this e-learning, but some students may not find it, beneficial. And of course, this is sometimes it is free and comes with very less cost, easily accessible resources. So that makes think that the credibility of the content and the other teachers is not transparent. Okay, so these are the two disadvantages of using e-learning. So now the next part is that what are the technologies that so integration of technology into physical education. Fine. So before getting into the what are the technologies that is already being integrated with the physical education, first we need to think why we need to combine the technology into physical education, because this is the physical education. We think that it is physical activities, right? So why we need a technology? So there are some points which support why we need to combine technology into physical education classes. So here, the teaching physical education can be challenging for any reasons, from the lack of equipment to keeping students engaged. So what happens, sometimes we don't have enough equipments to keep the student engaged, right? For that, we need technology where we can engage students with a different technology. To meet these challenges, some educators are turning to technology to create more dynamic classes that work for students with a wide range of fitness level. So let us see what are the technologies that is being incorporated in the coming slides. Incorporating technology into physical education classes produces an individually oriented experience that is called, we already discussed customization, right? So we can customize our goals for individual student for the subject. So additionally, it also has the potential to reduce the stress on the students' bodies, improves their confidence, and makes them more efficient and prepared for the classes. So overall, it will, the productivity of the students will be increased. So that's why we need technology in physical education. So now we will see what are the different technologies being incorporated in physical education systems. Okay, so number one, you might have heard this pedometers, which the device which is used to calculate, record the number of steps you have walked. Okay, so for this, we actually use the sensor called accelerometer. Okay, so based on the oscillating of your body, it detects the number of steps you have taken. I want you to see an example for this. Here we many of you have this pedometers with you. And we'll move to the next one. That is, so similarly, we also have a device which compute, which track the heart rates of the student. So it's used to, measure the student's pulse while engaged in activities. So using these devices allows the educators and students to aim for an individual or customized target, because sometimes we need to customize the target for individual student. Okay, because not all are same, right? So by customizing student goals, students feel more involved and more empowered to continue with the fitness. And for this device, so this is an example to monitor the heart rate. And we have a sensor called oximeter, which detects, which measures the human rate. So that's the second technology. And third one, we have a different softwares to track the health. So taking the data used by heart monitors and pedometers is vital for creating a long-term plan for advancing health, right? So both pedometers and the heart rate monitors are very important, and most of the times they comes with the inbuilt connectivity, such as Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. So that means what? Those devices can able to share the data with your mobile phone or to the cloud or to your PC. So once the data is captured from these sensors, it is used for do the analysis on the data we gathered. So using tracking programs or monitoring system provides educators with tools useful in creating custom goals for the students. Okay, so basically it is used for data analysis. So using these kind of programs allows for instant feedback that allows students the opportunity to adjust for their goals and how they wish to achieve them. So it provides instant feedback, because we have already have the software which can able to do the analysis and provide you the result in a very less time. So that is called instant feedback to the teachers. And the fourth one, we have apps for this mobile phones. Correct, no? So there are plenty of apps are available in Apple app for Apple and Android devices. For example, here we have MyFitnessPal. This not only track your movements, but also provide you the nutritional help. Okay. Some apps are available for free, while some apps you need to pay some amount to use their services. Okay, and also look at these apps. We also have some kind of apps which use the Google Earth to show the distance where you need to travel. Correct, no? And that will be marked on the Google Earth. The height, for example, the height of the Mount Everest, or the distance between their home and another location. So geographically, with the graphics, they provide you how many, what is the distance you need to cover. Okay. And the fifth one, we have video references we discussed in the previous session, right? So with a faster and more reliable internet, streaming videos is more accessible than before. Yes. So due to advancement in the technology and the internet, the cost of internet package is getting down, right? So now we can access videos and watch videos. Okay, and an instructor can able to make the videos and upload it to the sites such as YouTube and Vimeo websites. Okay, so and also if you want to make out, if you want to make the videos, there are plenty of videos are available in YouTube to train you how to edit the videos and how to combine audio and video. So all these informations are available in YouTube. Okay, and teachers can also able to suggest online videos and demonstrations on YouTube. However, they need to take care of the age of the student. Okay, so based on that, they need to suggest the videos. And the last one we have games. Yes, so you might have heard Exer games. So Exer game is something try to combine exercise and game. So here we can watch a number of activities are provided. So it is something we are going to combine the technology with physical education. If we are doing exercise, we will be doing games. So this is the students are very happy. This is called the games. Technology tracks your reaction time, body movements, all you can go to YouTube and you will find other videos related to this. So that's about various technology that is integrated into physical education. So now we will move to the Microsoft Excel. We already know we are not going to cover this entire Microsoft Excel, but most of the people might not aware of using formulas and graphs. So in this session, we are going to see how to use the formulas to calculate the data we have in this sheet. So before getting into that, let me point out various parts of this Microsoft Excel sheet. This is called the address. So when you select a particular shell, it will show the address of that shell, and we have a formula bar where you can write the formula. This is the space for writing formula, and these are all the columns, and these are all the rows, and these are all individual cells. And any document may contain more than one sheets, so we have sheets. We can add multiple sheets to the single document. So having seen that, we will now move to how to use the formulas in Microsoft Excel. So Excel is a powerful program for performing complex calculations, and formulas are used frequently in Excel. To create an equation, the first character in the cell must be an equal sign. So before writing any formula, first you need to type equal sign. Okay, so we will see an example. So assume that this is the sheet you are working. So here in this cell you have written 3 plus 5, right? So you need to place an equal sign before computing 3 and finding sum of 3 and 2. So you will get the result like this. Okay. So we will see. I will show you in opening the work. So before that, we will see in this slide. Instead of writing the numbers, suppose you have stored the data in columns, and you need to give the relative addressing. Okay, you need to give the relating address, so that is possible. So here, this is B column and this is second row, right? So this cell is called as B2. So instead of writing 5 plus 5, you can specify the address of this cell, that is B2 plus 5 equal to B2 plus 5. So what we are trying to do here is that the content of this cell and the 5 will be added, and that the result will be shown. So similar to the previous slide. And sometimes you have written 1, now you have written 2, now you want 1 2 3 4 5 6, right? No, so at that time what you need to do is that you need to select these 2 cells and drag this point to the down. Okay, so once you dragged, so you want to fill the 8 cells, then it will take, because it will look for this sequence. So that is 1 2, right? So next one will be 3 4 5, so that sequence will be generated. Okay, so if you write 5 10, then it will be 15 20 30 35 40, so difference of 5. Okay, so this the filling down. So now suppose you want to write use the inbuilt functions, okay, or basic formulas. I have pointed out some of the important basic formulas, that is calculating the sum of numbers, finding the average of numbers, finding minimum in a given numbers, finding maximum, finding absolute value. So finding absolute value is nothing but, suppose if it is -5 or +5, it will always return the absolute value, that is 5. Okay, and you can also count the number of values in a given sample. For that we are going to use counter. Let us try this. Okay, let us try this. Yes, let me share this. Yes. Yes. So yeah, assume that we need to assume that we have a pedometer which provides you the number of steps or the distance you have traveled every day. So here, I have some numbers. So first, in order, I'm going to place 8 days here. Okay, first you need to select this. So 8 days, right? Okay, so this is the number of days. Day 1, day 2, day 3 till we have day 8. So assume that I have walked 5 kilometers for the first day, and then 8 kilometers for the second day, and say 10 or 15, and then 20, come back to 10, and then 7, and then 10, 11. So assume that we have this data. Okay, this is the kilometers you have traveled. This is 5 kilometers for the first day, 8 kilometers for the second day. Similarly, the distance you traveled for the different days. Okay, now I want to find out, the total distance I have traveled. You can write the formula for this. First, you need to write. Let me write this average. Sorry, total. So first you need to type equal sign, right? Equal. So you need to find the total of this, right? So for that, what is the reference number? This is B1, right? This is B1. So write B1, or you simply select that. So B1, okay? B1. Before that, you need to write sum, right? Because I have shown you in the PPT, that is sum of these numbers, So from B1 to B8, B1. So you need to give colon for this because we are selecting the range, right? From B1 to B8. So that is B8. Fine. So what it gives you is that it gives you the sum of these numbers. So press enter. The total is 76. Similarly, you can also find the average kilometers you have traveled for the last 8 days. Average. Okay, so for that again equal. So you have inbuilt function that is average, and from this B1 to the data range is B1 to B8. Okay. So the average kilometer you traveled, or the average, the distance you traveled is 9.5 kilometers. Okay. Suppose you want to find the minimum of these numbers, that is possible. So minimum. So how to find the minimum? First, equal sign, and you have the inbuilt function that is min. So like that. So again, range from this number to this number, right? Yes. So minimum is 5, right? Similarly, you can also find the max. So for the max, you can use the max. So B1 to B8. Fine. Okay, and you can also count the numbers. The count. For that, you can write equal count, and that is again B1 to, that's it, B1 to B8. So this is how we use the formulas to perform calculations. So there are 8 days, right? So 8. So this is how we use the formulas. Now let me show the graphs. Yeah. So these are all the functions we used, correct? Now finding sum, average, maximum, and halves, absolute values, count. So now we will see how to plot the graphs. Okay, so it depends on the version you are using. In older version, first you need to select the type of the graph you want to plot, followed by the data series. Okay, so here first you need to select the graph and then the series. Okay, so we will see. So after that we will find something like this. So now again we will move back to the data we have saved, correct? No, we will try to plot the graph for that. Okay. Let me pass this share for a moment. Okay, so we are back to the data we had in the Excel. So now, first you need to select the data. First you need to select the data, okay, and then next go to insert. Next go to insert, and then select X, Y scatter, okay. 5 kilometers for the day, it is 8, right? So it will show you. So now we can easily understand or easily, get. So what is the distance you have traveled, right? Looking at this graph. Right? You can also change the title. You can also change this title if you want. Distance, right? Okay. And also you can also provide the labels for this x-axis and y-axis by selecting the axis titles, data labels. You can also select this and you can also select this. Okay. So this is the distance you travel, right? This is the distance. So this is the days, right? Days, and this is the distance you traveled. Distance in kilometer. Okay. And you can also change this graphs. You can also change the graphs. Suppose you want bar kind of thing. So day 1, 5, day 7, day 2, 8 kilometers, day 3, 10. So you can change the graphs. So this is how we plot the graphs. Okay. So this is a good tool for data analytics. Okay. So let me close this. So that's about the Microsoft Excel. Now we will move to the last part of this session, that is a OneDrive. Okay, so Office 365 OneDrive file organization. So here again, we are not going to discuss the entire thing of this Office 365. So Office 365 is similar to your Microsoft Office, okay, which includes Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Access, but there is some differences. Okay, this is the focus here is more on the business and the cloud platform. Okay, you can work with your documents with the cloud services. Okay. So first you need to do is that first you need to see this product is developed by Microsoft. So you need to go to this website, that is office.com. Okay, there you need to sign up. Okay, if you don't have an account, Microsoft account, you can create one, and then using that credential, you can log into this office.com. So once you logged into the office.com, you will see this web page where you have the Outlook used for email, okay, sending emails, and then OneCloud. That is what we are going to discuss in this session. So this is a file organization, and then Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote. These are all the applications we are already familiar with, but we can use this application on cloud. Okay. So that means what? This data will not be saved on your computer. This will be saved on cloud. Again, cloud is nothing but it's a server. We can call it a server, which is stored at a remote location. Okay. So the space you have in your machine is local. The space which is there in the internet is called cloud. So that's the difference when I say cloud. Okay. So similarly, you have the calendar and Skype for video conferencing. So we are going to take up this OneDrive, okay, in this class. So all right, before going to that, you can also set up the synchronization. So so we are going to use the space provided by your cloud. Okay, so assume that you have a D drive in your computer and you have many documents. Okay, so you don't want to upload each and everything. For that, you can create a folder and store all your documents, and then you can upload that folder into the OneDrive. So after that, so you have the local directories, local folders in your computer, and also the same copy will be placed in the cloud. Now, once you synchronize this, once you synchronize the local data and the cloud data, whatever the changes you make in the local system will also be reflected in the cloud, and whatever the changes you make in the cloud will also be reflected in the local machine. So for that, you need to synchronize the machine. Okay, so same thing can be performed on your mobile phone. Okay, so there is an app that is OneDrive app. You need to install that, and you need to configure using your email address. That is the email address you have given to the Microsoft website. Okay, that credential will be used to set up the synchronization between the cloud and the mobile phone. Okay, so even for this PC, you need to install OneDrive application. For the mobile phone, you need to install the app. For the system, you need to install the software called OneDrive. Okay, assume that you have set up everything. Okay, so now let us go to this OneDrive. So here you can place inside the OneDrive, you will see this GUI. So inside this, you have a lot of files saved. Okay, and you can take many actions like open that file, or you can share with your friends. While when you press the share button, you need to provide their email addresses. Okay, so to whom with you need to share this documents. Okay, and you can also set the permission whether they are able to view, or they can able to edit, or they can able to delete. So all this permission can be set. Okay, and also you can download this to your machine. That is possible. So there are a number of options are given for this documents, and also you can see the recent documents you have accessed or added to the drive, and also you can see the what are the documents being shared with others. Okay, and if so, once you delete this document, it doesn't delete permanently. First, it goes to recycle bin, just like in our system. Okay, and again, if you go to recycle bin and delete the document, that will permanently delete it. So there are two types of subscription here: free and paid. So for the free, you have maximum 5 GB. So you can upload your documents to this cloud up to 5 GB. Okay. So this is how it shows. Once you clicked on share documents, so all the documents which are shared with others will be shown here. You can revoke, you can remove the sharing property for that document. Okay, and similarly uploading to the cloud, you have two options. You can directly drag and drop that file into the OneDrive UI, or you can go to upload, or whether you need to upload folder or files, you can select, so you can upload. You can also see once you shared the file and you have given the edit option to others, then they can able to edit the document, right? So once they edit, that is also can be traced here, that is version history, file version history. You can see who are all edited this file. If you don't want to make the changes, whatever the changes they have made, you can always come back to the previous versions. That's why the version history is given. So this is very useful when many people who are sitting at different places are working on a single file. So at that condition, one can share a file and make the changes from different locations. Okay, so this is very useful, correct? No? So in this COVID-19, suppose we are setting up the syllabus, correct? No? Suppose we are setting up the syllabus and we can sit at different locations and make the changes, correct? No? So that's possible. And in addition to that, what you can also link this OneDrive to your Office. Okay, so you need to provide your username and password. You can connect, and those documents will be seen here in this space. Okay, and you can work locally with using your Office, or you can also go with the cloud applications. That's possible. And if you install that app in your mobile phone, this is how it looks. See, you can access your files using your mobile. Okay, so the same content will be there in your mobile and that present in the cloud as well as in your computer. Okay. Any question? So that's the end of this session. If you have any queries, you can ask. Any question? Am I audible, sir?
We have not received any questions on the chat. So I think so we will close this session. I would like to thank Mr. Prakash M for giving us a very good insight into the process of Internet of Things. Your specialized talk on this aspect, that is ICT and physical education, has given a very good insight, sir. And I think the students who are going for research and those who are into physical education will have to use all these tools in the future years, because physical education is a scientific base where we have to move forward in the present world. Without science and without computers, it is difficult to analyze different aspects of physical education. So thank you, Mr. Prakash M, for your thought-provoking session and topic of ICT and physical education. We hope our participants have gained a lot from your talk and would like to contact you in future regarding program in physical education. Thank you, sir.
And again, I thank you for World Physical Education Department for giving me this opportunity. And also I thankful to all the participants bearing 1 hour with me. Thank you, one and all.
Now we move on to the third session of Dr. Radhakrishna HV.
Radhakrishna sir.
Radhakrishna sir is not available. Can I continue?
So disconnect ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು sir somebody. Done it sir.
Yeah.
By disconnecting Radhakrishna sir.
Radhakrishna sir is not available.
Disconnect ಆಗಿದೆ.
Hello?
Hello.
So any problem?
Radhakrishna sir is not visible.
You just called me, 1 second. Phone ಮಾಡಿ Dr. Radhakrishna.
ಡಿಸ್ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಓಕೆ ಸರಿ ಸರಿ ಓಕೆ ಸರಿ ಸರಿ 5 minutes waiting. Let's talk.
Sir, there is some problem in the net. It will come in and a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I'd like to inform all the participants, whoever has registered, today I'll be sending a quiz feedback as well as a quiz form on your registered email. So please check your email. Fine. Then I won't be putting on the WhatsApp group. Please check your email. And then we'll be having the quiz. There will be 50 questions for the quiz. And you will be having only 1 hour to answer it. Fine. From time you open the form, I have given 70 minutes. That is 10 minutes to enter your details as well as a short feedback. And the remaining time we'll be using for the quiz. And so please, the quiz will start tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. and end at 7 p.m. So 12 hours you will have. So after that, please don't contact me regarding the quiz form. Fine. Any doubts, you can ask me before that. So I think Dr. Radhakrishna is there online. Over to Mr. Dane.
So we go to the third session of Dr. Radhakrishna HB. Dr. Radhakrishna HB is the physical director of Government First Grade College, Vamadapada. He is one of the qualified athletic coach and also done his Masters of Science in coaching in athletics from Karnataka. He is only one of the few technical officials in athletics who has qualified as a technical official at the international level. He is one of the Commonwealth Games official held at New Delhi. He is a good organizer, a trainer, and a supporting staff to all the athletes of Mangalore University. Under his guidance, Mangalore University has won a lot of laurels in the sports of athletics, field of athletics in the coming years. With this small introduction, we who know him very well since he is with us throughout, I introduce Dr. Radhakrishna HB. Over to you, sir, on the topic techniques and analysis of throws in athletics. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am audible, sir?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Once again, I heartfelt thanks to Dr. Santosh Daral D'Souza. He is my own lecturer and well-wisher, and also Dr. Kishore Kumar CK, Director of Physical Education, and Dr. Haridas, Prasan sir, and Ramesh sir, and today's moderator, Donate sir. Today, I am going to take fundamentals of throws. Regarding throws, I would like to take today the National Academic Webinar Series. As you know, there are 4 throws: javelin, discus throw, shot put, and hammer. There are 4 throws. In the throws, we usually called as a long throw and short throws. Long throw consists of javelin throw, hammer throw, and discus. In few classification, they used to say that circle throws. Circle throws means discus throw, javelin throw, and circle throw means discus, shot put, and hammer is called as a circle throw, and a javelin called as a approach, run, and throw. Common elements for any throws. Today I will touch brief about the biomechanics also. Common elements of throws. In all throws, the bow action is very important during the delivery stance. Implement hold back contrary to the direction of the throw. Training the muscles of shoulder and trunk. You can watch the figure. This is a bow action. Bow action is very, very important in the delivery stance. Transmission of force from legs and trunk to the throwing arm means in any throws, first we will activate our bigger muscles, in the final touch in the smaller muscles. We have to activate first all bigger muscles. We used to say that the tension should be there in the all bigger muscles of the body. Acceleration of throwing arm, throwing hand, and throwing implement. First, we will accelerate from the bigger muscles to smaller muscles. We will tension the bigger muscles, then it is passed to throwing arm and throwing hand, and finally, how much force you are applying through implement. It is, you will get the good performance. There are common elements in the foot position. The foot position between javelin throw is different, discus throw and different, and shot put different, and hammer throw also different. The comparative foot position you can see in the figure. The first figure shows the javelin foot position. In the javelin, there is a bracing action. You can see in this figure, this is the left leg, this is right leg. Even many javelin throwers, the keeping the left leg towards left side more. Then there is a pivot action, then there is a throw. Here, this is actually shot put and a discus almost same. Okay. At backward reclining position of delivery during the striking position, touch down of the bracing leg. Here, in this is actually blocking leg, left leg. The heel and ball position is very important. This is ball, means toes, and right leg heel. During the delivery, the this ball and heel position is very, very important. Otherwise, it is called as a bucket position. Bucket position means the right hip should move towards throwing direction. Suppose this leg you are keeping front, this is called bucket position. It is very difficult to perform. It will block the right hip. Okay, then bracing leg is placed slightly to the left so that the hip on the side of the pressure can be brought forward. That I already informed. Suppose we are keeping this leg front, there is the movement stop, means left hip will not move forward. So transfer of the force is very, very difficult. Objective in the throwing event. This is the shot put. You can watch the finger position also. It should be equally distributed. This is discus throw. See the javelin throw. This is approach, run, and throw. See the driving action of the approach run. This is also very important. Same as in the hammer. Biomechanical aspect of the throws. Similarly, in the jumping event also, there is a biomechanical analysis is very, very important, but there is a body is the biomechanical analysis. But in the throws, parabolic throwing path of the implement is determined by three factors. One is velocity of release, second one angle of release, third one height of release. Height of the release, we can't change much because it's depend upon the height of the athlete. And angle of release also, it is also very, very important. It's different event by event. For example, in the shot put, normally 40 to 40-degree angle will release. This is actually angle of release. But in the javelin throw, it is lesser than 37 degree. And in the discus also, it is around 42 degree. So velocity of the release is very, very important factor to get the good performance. Velocity, through our physical ability, you can develop the velocity of release. If you have good strength, good speed, then only you can get the velocity of release. Whatever you are getting during the turn or during any technique, that should be passed through the equipment. Otherwise, you will not get the good performance. Angle of release that I already told, each and every event have different type of angle of release. That height of release also, I told, it is predetermined. We can't change much on this. Through technique, we can we can change. Even in the shot put, there's a study says that suppose you are increasing 1 centimeter height of the release, minimum height is always required. You can see the history of the throws. Earlier days, who have very bulky, means heavyweight persons, they are getting good performance. But now trend is changed. Technique will take important role, means biomechanical is the important role. Technique will take important role. So naturally, the technique is keep on changing day by day through advantage. In the discuss, the parabolic throwing path is determined by frontal drag of the implement and possible lift. You can see in this figure, there is through two actions. This is oblique condition in the discus. Especially this will affect the headwind and tailwind. This is actually discussed through even aerodynamic nature in the javelin. The both event will affect through the headwind, discus and javelin throw. Here discuss, suppose there is a headwind, we have to release the disc like this figure because there is a lift will takes place. The throwing from this side to this side is called as a headwind. From this side to this side called as a tailwind. Suppose there is a headwind, the discus thrower will release the disc in the almost parallel. The headwind will attack here. Normally, lift will take place. Automatically, the thrower will get good advantage. Suppose there is a tailwind, then the releasing is different than the headwind. Suppose there is a tailwind, then they will release like this way. So naturally, tailwind will attack here, the disc will go flatter and flatter. So this is very important. So before the thrower will watch the wind direction, either headwind or tailwind. According to the wind, either tailwind or headwind, he will change the releasing action. ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳುದಿದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ನಾವು ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಹಳ್ಳಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬಸ್ಸು ಹೋಗೋ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಟರ್ಬೋಲೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ ಅದು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಬಸ್ಸು ಹೋಗುವಾಗ ಹಿಂದಿಂದ ಅದರ ಗಾಳಿಯ ಹಿಂದೆ ಸೈಡಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಸೈಡಲ್ಲಿರುವ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಕಸಗಳು ಅದರ ಹಿಂದೆ ಓಡಾಡ್ತದೆ. ಸೇಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಡ್ ವಿಂಡ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಈ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ಲಾಟರ್ ಇದ್ದದು ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಆಟೋಮೆಟಿಕಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕವರ್. The movement structure of the throws. There are 4 phases in the throws. One is preparation phase, then movement building, then delivery and recovery. This one and another is interlinked. The preparation is very good, then only athlete can get movement building. Then it will help to the delivery and automatically recovery also. So these are the 4 phases of throws. It is all the 4 same: preparation, movement building, delivery and recovery. You can see here preparation phase. In the preparation phase, gripping the implement is very important. How you grip the implement. Then assuming a perfect balance position and concentration. This is the purpose of preparation: gripping the implement and assuming a perfect balance position and concentration. Now in the figure you can see this is hammer throw. The hammer throw, there are 3 turn and 4 turn techniques. 3 turn techniques and 4 turn techniques. The total purpose is, I already explained, releasing velocity is very important. But in the circle throws, within restriction, means suppose in the consider as a hammer throw, that is 2.135 meter. So within that you have to get the optimum speed. So the athlete is using 3 turn technique or 4 turn technique. So 3 turn technique, you will get minimum turn, means only 3 turns. So you will not get optimum velocity. The proper through proper training, you can go for 4 turn technique in the hammer. Suppose in the shot put, there are 2 techniques. One is glide techniques, another one is rotational technique. This is the figure. It's a glide technique. Glide technique also called as a O'Brien T-style or linear technique. In the glide technique, you can see the hand position in the grip. This is actually rotational technique. This is glide technique. In the shot put, I already told there are 2 techniques. One is linear and another one is rotation. According to that, they will go for the position. In the linear technique, he will go for the crouch position like this way. And the main purpose in the throws, in the preparation, the CG will go down as possible as down. The purpose main is balance. In the javelin throw, in the hammer throw, discus throw and shot put. Here you can see in the discus also, they are going down. The purpose is the height of the CG will go down. The momentum building. This is very important to increase the possible release velocity. It is all one and another is interlinked. The movement building is very important. I already told the bigger muscle will act early, then it is transferred to smaller muscles. Power position means delivery stance. Link between the momentum building phase and the delivery phase is the power position, means striking position. Muscular tension throughout the body is very important. You can see here all 4 figures. This is javelin throw, a shot put and discus and hammer. Here in the discus, the long, there is also called as in biomechanics longer pendulum. Means as much as possible, he will get the range of motion. Range of motion is very, very important. No, so naturally he will keep the disc away to the body. Then only he will get, it is called longer pendulum. Then here in the javelin, this is a bracing. See the position of the delivery stance. So the implement is going down. So to get the angle of the throw. The muscular tension throughout the body is very, very important, and a balanced stance with both feet on the ground. In the delivery stance, both feet on the ground before delivery. The body weight over the right foot and right heel lifted. Only whenever the body weight over the right leg, then only you can go for a pivot. Here you can see in the short put, it's a rotational technique. Here, see the body weight over the right foot, then only he can pivot this leg. Suppose body weight is not over the right foot, the technique perfection is very difficult and he will lose the velocity of the throws, speed of the throws. So even here also you can watch, there is a centrifugal force and centripetal force will act. Centrifugal force means, suppose one hammer thrower is during the throwing action, his 8% multiplication of his body weight means, suppose 80 kg body weight multiply by 8, that much force will apply through implement. That is very important. For that purpose, he will drop the hip down. There is a centrifugal force and centripetal force act. So technique is the important role here. Right heel and left toe lined up. That I already told in the start slide itself. The lineup of the right heel and ball and heel position is very, very important. Ball and heel position, then only he will get the correct position. In the delivery phase, blocking action of the left side is very, very important. Here you can watch the javelin thrower's left hand. It's going from this place to down. So naturally the right shoulder will lift, takes place. Means getting the height of the release. See, in the javelin throw is left hand going down, naturally right shoulder will going up. Here also, this is a blocking position. See, in the left hand going up to shoulder line, then he is blocking. Naturally, the right hand moving fast. This is called actually squeezing position. Squeeze. Suppose you are squeeze the cloth, naturally it will move, rebound fast. Same here also in the short put, left hand blocking and naturally right hand moving up. Same way in the short put, this left leg blocking is very, very important. Whenever left leg blocking, it should be straight position, then only the upper body will move forward. Same way in the discus also, same way here also. During javelin throw, you should not bend the left leg. Suppose you are bending the left leg, the force will translate, it will not translate properly to the implement. Recovery. Discharge the remaining kinetic energy of the thrower. The athletes need to avoid fouling. That's very important. Suppose you are going for very good throw, but athlete is making foul, then there is no use. So within rules and regulation, he have to perform better. Here you can see the position of the shot putter. This is left leg. He is getting through lifting the heel of the left leg, he will getting the height of the release, height of the release. Immediately during the release, he is moving his right leg to nearest to the left leg. He is removing the left leg and keeping this right leg in the same place. This is the recovery position. This is left leg. He is going to throw now. Then he is moving his right leg and keeping here to better grip, means avoiding the fouling. Same position, he can continue, you can see this is the position. Same in the javelin throw also. In the start itself, I told that the foot position. Now this is actually going to be released. As soon as release, before release, he is keeping his left leg towards left side. Then after release, he is going for recovery position. Here in the discus throw also, this is called reverse action. Means this is left leg, right leg. As soon as release the disc, the right leg keeping here and lifting the left leg for balance position. The hammer throw also, you can see the bowing action after the race for the control purpose. This few figure during the recovery in the shot put. This is javelin. Presently, many of the javelin throwers after the release, they are going for falling down position for balance. There is so many biomechanical analysis regarding this. Normally, these type of throwers throwing around 3 meters behind of the restriction line. The purpose, they are getting maximum or you can say that optimum speed during the release. So they will lose 3 meters here, but through getting the velocity of the throw, they will gain the performance. Teaching stages of throwing technique. It is, we used to call as a chaining method. Teaching progression. First, introduction to the implement and safety and grip. Of shot put or discus throw or javelin throw or hammer throw. Then move on to the delivery stance. Delivery stance also we have to teach next, means it's step by step. Then power position, then recovery, then movement building, then preparation phase. This is the teaching stages one by one. First we will teach the implement, the second we will teach the delivery. The purpose is, suppose we are teaching first movement building, then very difficult to perform, means very difficult to teach. So step by step we will teach like this way. Points to emphasize before teach. Optimum velocity in the movement building phase. Increasing velocity in the power position and delivery. A correct power position is very important in all the throws. Successive activity of the joints involved in the final movement, peaking with the maximum velocity transferred to the implement. Complete extension of the body in the delivery. That is also very important. During the delivery, the whole body should move, means from the lower to implement. It should translate properly. Developing technique with the implement slightly lighter than competition weight. A wide variety of exercise, implements, throwing movements and situation. Before start of any throwing event, you have to prepare very well to get the through exercise to learn the technique faster. Points to avoid: introduction of competition technique to young athletes who have not reached the appropriate physical prerequisites. It's very important. Introduction of the competition technique to young athletes. Suppose any beginner is coming, so you are using the competition weight, means the athlete will get injured and he will not perform better in future also. And it is very difficult to learn the technique. Always, whenever you are teaching the technique, you should use a lighter weight of the implements. Suppose shot put, instead of shot put, you can use the medicine ball or soft ball, like that. So implement is very, very important during the teaching stage. Implements of inappropriate size or weight or aerodynamic qualities. Inappropriate size, that I already told. Suppose in the shot put, suppose you are using bigger size of shot put, it is very difficult to hold the younger athlete. And the same like in the disc also, suppose in the early age, around 16 years boy is coming, means you suppose you are using 2 kg disc, it is very difficult to learn the technique. Introduction of new technique elements before satisfactory performance of those already introduced. Step-by-step teaching is very, very important. Once master in the particular stage, then only you have to go for further stage. If athlete is not performing in the preliminary stage itself, then it is very difficult to, you should not teach the next stage. Suppose in the preliminary turn, he is not performing the preliminary turn in the hammer throw, you should not go for second turn or third turn. Excessive throwing movements for athletes who have not gained the appropriate strength levels in the abdominal and leg muscles. The early specialization is not good. Here, suppose the early age, you are giving the competition weight, then automatically athlete will get injured or he will lose the interest in the particular area. So once sufficient strength quality improved, sufficient speed quality improved, then only you have to give the competition weight. Here you can see the javelin throw approach run. Is going for cross step. Normally in the javelin throw, normally 32 meter the athlete will use for approach. This is only one throw, approach and throw. Here you can see in this figure, he is preparing for the cross step. Normally the international athletes using 5 cross steps. 5 cross steps. Okay, he is preparing for the cross step now. See, this is the actually delivery action. Is going down. Is CG going down to get the angle of release. This is a bracing action. This is a bracing action. He is completely blocking his left leg. Completely, you can see in the figure, it's completely straight, almost straight. Then he is blocking in this leg. Naturally, this movement will go faster and moving forward. So after the release, is going for withdraw positions. This is see. This all I touched only basic biomechanics and fundamentals of throw. Now you can see in the score sheet. As you know, in the throws, we will give, the last time also one of participant asked a question, and in the throws, the basic rule only I will touch. Normally, there is a qualifying round and a final round. In the qualifying round, means preliminary 3 throws. Then suppose it is direct final, then we will go for reverse order. Then we'll go for round 4, round 5, and round 6. Suppose there should not be much confusion about qualifying round and direct final. Suppose qualifying round means there is maybe more than 16 athletes. Suppose more than 16 athletes, we will go for the qualifying round. Qualifying round, there may be 2 or 3 groups. Then best 12 will be selected for the final round. Then the basic rules already you know. Here you can see the score sheet. In the score sheet, the main purpose is the tie break. In the score sheet, it is the javelin throw score sheet. Tie break, here you can see A and B is the same distance, 70.91 and 70.91. After 6 throws, there is the same distance. So next, as per the rule, we will go for next best performance. Next best performance. Here A thrown in the second round throw 70.91. It is the best performance. But in the B, he thrown in the fourth round 70.91. It is the same now. Distance is same. So as per rule, we will go for tie break. In the tie break, next best performance will be considered for the position. Here 70.91, then next best is 63.24 in the first throw. All round 4, round 5, and round 6, he got foul. So his next best is 63.24. Here also, in the case of B, first throw is 70.32. Then best throw is fourth round 70.91. So here in this case, next best performance is 70.32. So the is better than A, so B will get the position, first position, and A will get the third position. Like that, suppose still there is a tie, then go for the next best performance. So tie break will take place like this way. This is actually here you can see still more explanations there. It's actually long jump example, but you can use the throw same in the field except vertical jump, pole vault and high jump. The score sheet is same. Here you can see the best performance of A is 8.24 and D also 8.24 and G also 8.24. In this case, next best performance of A, this is 8.24, then 8.10 is the next best performance in the case of A. But in the B also, in the next best performance is 8.10. In the case of D also, next best performance is 8.11. So you can see here 8.11, 8.10, 8.10. So here the 8.24 means D next performance is better than A and B. A also 8.10, B also 8.10, but in the D 8.11. So D will get the first position, then A will get the second position. Okay, this way the next best, next best, next best. The team officials for the shot put. These are the team officials. Chief judge will be here. He will handling the red and white flag. This is the rotatory board. This is the athletic control official. This is the countdown timer will sit here. This I already explained in the early class. In the all the throws, each attempt, the athlete will get 60 seconds, means 1 minute. The countdown timer will be here. It will show automatically 50, 60, 59, 58, like that countdown timer. As soon as countdown time will reach 15 seconds, automatically he will raise the yellow flag. Suppose 1 minute over, immediately he will raise the red flag. Chief judge also will raise the red flag. Automatically, the chance is over. It is considered as a foul. This is the EDM holders or tape holders, measuring judges. These are the point judges. Referee will act here. Chief judge is the main supervision of shot put. These are the official will act during the competition. Same in the discus throw also. This is wind sock. During the disc, I already earlier slide I told wind sock is very, very important. According to headwind and tailwind, the athlete will change the releasing action. Suppose there is a huge headwind, the discus thrower release the disc in the flat. Suppose there is a tailwind, he will release in the different actions. So wind sock is very, very important. Chief judge, same here, athlete control official. This is a rotatory board. But here more officials is required because it is a long throw. And pointing the disc, identifying the landing of the disc also very difficult. So here need more officials for landing. Hammer throw, the following official will act in the hammer throw. It is also a long throw, but here identifying the landing is easy. So less official will be in the landing side, but taking back of the implement need more officials. Javelin throw. In the javelin, here there is one 4-meter marking in the both side, 4-meter marking. Okay, suppose any athlete after the throw is coming back of this 4-meter, it is considered as a clear throw. Not necessary to go outside of this sector, he can go back also. Suppose one athlete is going back here 4-meter behind, then it is considered as a valid throw. Here also the windsock, and these are limited area. Okay, thank you, sir. Dharal sir.
Thank you, Mr. Dr. Radhakrishna. I think there are no questions till now, but I would like to request you to give us a little bit on follow-through action on all the throws.
Otherwise, the force transferred to the implement will no use. Then you will get the foul. Now you can see here the follow-through action. Through straightening of his leg is controlling his body, and then he will keep this leg across the left foot. Otherwise, suppose he is keeping this leg straight forward, automatically he get a foul. All the throws following action is very, very important after releasing the particular implements.
One more question is whether the body should be relaxed in throws.
Yes, naturally, the relaxed position should be there. Suppose the body is in the tension position, naturally whole muscle will the tension condition, he will not perform better. So the whole body should be in the relaxed position. That's in the first slide itself I shown the bowing action is very, very important. Whenever athlete is in the relaxed action, then only he can go for the proper technique. He can perform the proper technique, sir.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Sir, 1 second. Dr. Radhakrishna, just a simple question from me.
Yeah.
Just so that even the students might be having some doubts. Normally, we see these javelin throwers. They are very slim and fit, whereas you can see the shot putters in comparison to them are big built. And is there any reason for that, or
Nah. See, in the start itself, I told javelin thrower should be in the agile condition. Agile means it is only one throw, means approach run, means he need optimum speed also. Optimum speed is very, very important because he is getting the optimum speed through approach. So in the javelin throws, always we used to call as a agile persons. He is very good in 40-meter speed, in acceleration speed. Is very, very important comparatively other throws. Other throws, suppose, especially in the shot put and discus, the huge mass also very, very important. But here in the javelin, the agility is very, very important. He have very good sprint and very good the power also.
okay, sir. Thank you. Yeah, that's what I wanted to. But one more thing is, just like you said, I think because they're traveling only in the circle, so they require more of these rotational forces. Maybe it helps when they have a big body mass. Like I said yesterday in the biomechanics, this body mass and momentum can be transferred into the shot or disc.
Yeah.
Whereas in javelin, I think the momentum is generated more by the velocity of the short run. Anyway, thank you very much, Dr. Radhakrishnan.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, give the opportunity to share my knowledge. Thank you, Dr. Santosh Zaral D'Souza, sir, and Dr. Kishore Kumar CK, and also today moderator and very senior physical education director, my well-wisher, Donate sir also. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Dr. Radhakrishna HB. The thought-provoking session on the topic of techniques and analysis of throws in athletics has given a wide range to the upcoming coaches and have gained a lot through this talk. So I request all of the athletes and the coaches who are in line to be physical directors to take this opportunity and utilize the techniques told by Dr. Radhakrishna. Dear participants of this webinar and persons in profession of physical education. Physical education is a combination of all sciences. We should have basic knowledge of physics, chemistry, anatomy, psychology, sociology, and culture of the state. We are dealing with human individuals and group of people. To stay in the field, we have to learn the present changing techniques. We always thought that board and chalk were the most important aspects in teaching and learning process. But COVID-19 has changed our thinking and brought us to the virtual classes at this stage. Hence, research language along with use of computers and tools will help us with abreast of the present information and studies. Only when we learn and use these implements, we can attain our future goals. With these closing remarks, I thank Dr. C.K. Kishore Kumar, Director of Physical Education, for his topic, Languages in Research, Mr. Prakash M., for enlightening us on computer techniques, and Dr. Radhakrishna H.B. for the techniques on thrust and track events. I take this opportunity to thank Dr. Gerald Santosh D'Souza, Director and Chairman, Department of Studies and Research, Department of Physical Education, for giving me an opportunity to moderate these sessions. I also thank all the staff and students behind this program and all the participants and all the speakers. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, Mr. Donald D'Souza. As we come to the end of hectic, we can say hectic program of 8 days, 3 sessions. Totally, we had 24 sessions. And as the organizing secretary, I would like to formally place in record my gratitude on behalf of the whole department to all the persons responsible for it. First of all, I would like to thank our Vice Chancellor, Professor P.S. Edapaditaya, our Registrar, Mr. Raju Mugavir, and all the administrative members who have helped us, paved the way for us to conduct this webinar. And I would also like to thank the staff of our department, Dr. Kishore Kumar, Dr. Prasanna, Mr. Ramesh, Mr. Haridas, for having coordinated this program, for having supported us in the conducting of this program, and especially Dr. Prasanna, who has been the convener of this program and who has helped a great deal in arranging for this webinar. The most importantly, I would like to thank all the resource persons. Totally, we had 18 resource persons, including myself. We had 18 resource persons who have given talks for 24 sessions on various aspects ranging from evaluation, training methods, biomechanics, research, and a few of the games, athletics, then sports psychology. And it has been very fruitful for all the students because the main focus area was to give the students, share knowledge with the students, especially for the upcoming exams and for their future competitive exams. So I thank all the resource persons who have contributed, who have spent their precious time in preparing and giving their presentations to the students. And I would like to thank all the moderators, all our physical education directors who have acted as moderators for the program. They have added professionalism to the program. They have added attraction to this program, and they have moderated quite successfully and helped us in conducting the program. And I would like to thank all the participants, though we expected many participants because this was mainly for the students, and the student community should concentrate on gaining more and more knowledge because their main job of students is to improve themselves professionally, especially this time of their at this age, because as far as I have noticed, as you age, your learning becomes lesser and lesser. So especially during this age, you learn a lot because you are just coming into the profession and very interested. So I expected, to be honest, I expected many persons, many students to come to this program. Well, but I'm happy that at least those who have come to this program will have benefited a great deal, not only from learning this program, but also on how to conduct webinars, how we can improvise these webinars, and how to use online to conduct the webinar. That's a very important aspect. And I would like to personally, I would like to say that I don't think this online will ever, may not substitute offline teaching, but I think online is here to stay. Even in future, even when the corona situation completely regularizes, normalizes, I think this is here to stay. And I think more and more teachers will be using this online method to give assignments, to value assignments, and also to share many of the materials, teaching materials, learning materials, which are not possible always offline. So this will surely supplement the offline learning. And I think we have learned a great deal. All of us who have participated have learned a great deal. even myself, this is the first time I'm also conducting such kind of thing. I'm being a host, and I've learned a great deal on how to manage this online webinars, and there's a lot of scope for improvement. And I think the students also should start learning this. This is a very important aspect in addition to their learning of various subjects, learning how to disseminate knowledge, how to share knowledge to different methods. Like even online, there are many methods. So with these few words, I'd like to lower the curtain for this webinar. But this has given idea to a lot of staff that many improvements can be done. Such webinars can be done for different subjects, can be used in different fields, can be used specific areas like just games or officiating or something like that. So a lot of ideas are coming out of this webinar series. So placing on record my thanks to all the people. If I've left anyone out, please excuse me, but you're always in our mind. We are always grateful to you. So saying a big thank you to all the persons responsible for the success of this workshop. I lower the curtain for this workshop. Once again, with all my thanks, I would like to end this meeting. Thank you, one and all. One more thing I would like to is a small notice. By in another hour or two, on the WhatsApp group of the participants, you will get a link to the um, feedback as well as quiz form. Kindly go directly to the link. Of course, the link will be open from tomorrow 7 a.m. tomorrow evening 7 p.m. Kindly note tomorrow 7 a.m. Even if you open the link today, it will show 7 a.m. 7 p.m. So please don't miss from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Open the link and you'll get the form. Totally, I have given 70 minutes to answer. There are 50 questions. I have given 70 minutes and 70 because first 10 minutes to fill the short your details as well as the short scale of your opinion. Okay, I think I will increase it to 1.5 90 minutes because there are 50 questions. So kindly the timing will start once you start. You will be visible to you. Kindly finish it off within that time. So if you have missed this, kindly don't raise request to once again send the form because we have struggled to conduct this workshop. You have participated. So I think they will really seriously participated. I'm sure they will seriously respond to this quiz and they will enter the quiz submitted. Maybe those who are absent may not know where the forms are or might not get access in time. But I'm sorry for that. But please be filling the form and sending also. All of you get a grading certificate as well as a participating certificate for this workshop. So with this, thank you once again. We'll meet soon for our next sets of workshop. Thank you, one and all.